Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a decidedly not Victory Monday. What a disaster that was last night. Not a good showing by your Tampa Bay Buccaneers on national television. Skunked 9-0 by the freaking Saints. But hey, at least on our stream today, we have a very festive atmosphere in the FanStream Sports studio here today. We got the Christmas tree up. The stockings are full of coal after last night's 9-0 loss to the freaking Saints. Nick Geddes, Outkick.com, joining me here. What's up, partner? How are you?
Good morning. Not a Victory Monday by any means at all. It was a crazy, crazy game last night in the worst of ways. Every single thing that could go wrong did go wrong. But we're here to talk about it because we have so much to get into from that game. And as you said, festive spirit. Glad that you finally joined in on Christmas here as we're 5 days out. Yeah. But hey, you're ahead of me. I don't have a tree up anywhere in my space.
You can't put up a tree by yourself. That's total loserville. So I was supposed to do it with my kids over Thanksgiving. And so I just want to wait till at least one of my kids got back. So Shay was here on the weekend and we put up the tree. So yes, we are festive now here at the FanStream Sports Studio. Listen, there's a couple of things I want to get into, and you try to overthink a lot of these losses. What the hell happened? Is this a blueprint for others? And blah 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 blah. No, this is not a blueprint for others because this is just a terrible matchup for the Buccaneers. Now that doesn't excuse their play last night. They played terrible football. They had 7 to 8 drops. Gronk had 3 drops. Very uncharacteristic. Brady was off his mark. And just, and I put this up on Twitter and it's true. The Saints were more physical. The Saints were more intense. The Saints wanted it more. I don't think there's any question about that. They came out to physically intimidate the Buccaneers, and they did. They did by taking guys out of the game. The hit on Chris Godwin was, I don't want to call it a dirty play, but it was intentional. Guys were diving at legs and feet and knees all night long in that secondary. And I think it was with a purpose, Again, I'm not going to say it was dirty football, but they came out, this is the Bounty Gate team. Let's not forget that. They came out with an idea to physically intimidate. They didn't have their head coach calling plays. This isn't a New Orleans Saints team with Drew Brees that's going to, just outgun you. They're going to come in here and try to physically intimidate you. And frankly, that's what they did. If you saw a couple of the plays inside where Alex Kappa just got absolutely destroyed on the pass rush. That's the first time this year, I think, that the Bucs offensive line has been outplayed. They were out physical. They were outplayed. I don't think there's any question about that. And as much as we want to talk about, all the great skilled players in this game and how the game is so offensive minded and, defenses are so handicapped by the rule, the bottom line is physicality wins still in this league. And you can't, and there's a lot of other things I think the Bucs did wrong as well, but physicality wins. I mean, I'm looking at the highlights again, and every one of these, you look at the rush on Tom Brady. He was under duress all night long, and when you get to him and you hit him, especially early in the game, he's not very good. We've seen that a couple times this year, and the Saints know how to do it better than anybody in the game. There's another swim move. They were attacking Alex Kappa, and he did not have a great night. Neither did Tristan Wirfs.
No, Cameron Jordan was a handful all night. I think he had 3 sacks. He had the forced fumble, which was the best chance the Bucs had to score, was down there, and they just couldn't get anything going. And you could blame so many people for what went wrong. I'm going to aim mine more towards the skill position. I mean, all season, we talked about how much depth the Bucs have, right? 4, 5, 6 on the receiver depth, 2 and 3 at tight end. Where were they last night?
They didn't step up.
They didn't do anything.
Nope, didn't do anything.
And I have to look at some people on this team, looking at you, Keyshawn Vaughn.
He had his opportunities.
Looking at you, Jalen Darden.
Yep.
I don't know if they could play in the league. I mean, they were unplayable last night.
They're just guys. They're just guys. They're just guys. Yeah, they're not. I thought Keyshawn Vaughn showed me something last year and a couple of times, a touchdown run that he had preseason. You saw some stuff, but when he's gotten an opportunity this year, he has not been ready. And last night was his opportunity to step up, and he wasn't ready. And, it's some guys. They're when they get their opportunity, they seize it and they go on to have a pretty good career. But when you have your chance to step up and you're not ready to play, or you're too scared for the moment, that you're not going to get another shot. And Keyshawn Vaughn now becomes a very expendable player.
I don't see how he can even be put out on the field the rest of the. They have two guys on the practice squad, running back Darwin Thompson and Kenyon Barner.
Yeah.
I think they probably got to be in ahead. If we're at that point now, where you have injured running backs everywhere. I mean, Brady threw him the lightest little touch pass there in the flat.
Wide open.
Got
a chance to do something,
room to run.
Yeah.
I mean, just stumbling. Later, he threw him another pass where he just fell over.
Right.
Whatever reason, on a 3rd and 1 where you got to have it, I guess Keyshawn Vaughn is your guy in that situation.
When you have the best quarterback sneak guy, and I think maybe you said it on the broadcast last night, is like quarterback sneak looks really good right here. And it was because the linebackers were stacked kind of to the B and C gaps. And that push they got on the in the front, they were 5 or 6 yards down the field, and instead he turns around and hands it off, and guys kind of looping around from the outside have a chance to come in and make the play. And Keyshawn didn't get off the ball very well, which he has to. He has to meet. And I think they were probably afraid to run Brady because of the way the Saints were playing. They were playing chippy. And I think that probably came into it. And here's another thing I'm going to say. Bruce Arians are what, 0-6 against the Saints?
Yes.
In the regular season?
Yes.
0-6.
0-6.
The only time you beat them is when you had a 4-0 turnover ratio in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
We want to say that they have Tom Brady's number. They got Bruce Arians' number. They got Byron Leftwich's number. I hear this is a bad matchup. They play too deep shell, and we'll hear from Bruce Arians. Tough man-to-man underneath. Okay, so they're not changing it? Well, then maybe you should change something. What are we doing here? Same shiz every time we play them. Same stuff. Guys aren't open. So at some point, you got to make some adjustments. What are we doing? If they're this good at defending, how come they haven't won 13 games? Listen, I know we got an inspired performance from them last night. I get it. But there are ways to beat this team. Other teams have found a way. They tend to get up for big teams. I know they beat the Packers. They can be great when they want to. But offensively, they're extremely limited. The defense played tremendous last night.
I don't know if this was the 1999 Bucs or what.
You can't score 10 points against these guys?
I can't get 10 points?
No.
I can't get 10 points. I understand that, that offense, asking that offense last night with those guys out and who was in there against that defense, to score 30 points, 25 points.
Didn't need 30.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. You're probably never going to do that. 10 points?
Yeah.
10 points. Really?
Yeah.
That's we can't get 10 points?
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, the coaching staff last night, and I know Brady's pulling the trigger, but 4th and 1, you're going deep down the field to Gronk?
Yeah. And
3rd and 1, I mean, we're Keyshawn Vaughn. 3rd, I mean, we got to have some better plays than this. Where's, it's not like, listen, I know O.J. Howard is not a great, he hasn't answered the bell. But if you don't have anybody else, you got to give him a shot. You got to give Cam Brate a shot.
Cam Brate's got his opportunity. He had 2 drops last night.
Yeah, he had 2 drops.
He's been ahead of OJ on the depth chart all year long. He hasn't done much. I don't know. He don't look the same to me. OJ Howard, I think the last time we saw him playing meaningful snaps was that Philadelphia game. Oh, where he was like the leading receiver on the team during that game. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where's he at? I mean, we've been critical of OJ, but 10 snaps in this game?
Well, I can tell you this. If he's not getting the snaps, there's a reason. And it's practice.
Well, there was a reason clearly why Rashad Perriman was getting way more snaps than Tyler Johnson and Scotty Miller. I mean, Tyler Johnson too. I haven't even mentioned him much, but this guy, can he run? Literally, can he run?
Well, that's why he dropped in the draft. He's not a great. He's not.
I
very
mean,
fast.
he's getting shoelace tackled right after he looks like he's going to cut up field. I mean, he just couldn't run.
Yeah, guys had opportunities to make plays last night, but again, I think they first and foremost have to make plays. But second of all, I would like to see a better scheme. If they're going to keep doing what they're doing, then if we keep doing what we're doing, now you could say, well, if guys caught the ball, we had 7 drops, it would be different. Yes, absolutely. But again, you got shut out. You came up with nothing. I didn't see any wrinkles in the game plan that made me think, okay, we're reacting to something that they do. We're trying to, if they're playing tight man-to-man underneath, let's get some rub routes going. Let's get some picks going. Let's get some. I mean, Brady's seen everything in his career. I just saw a lack of creativity from the coaching staff and obviously poor execution across the board.
Yeah, the coaching staff wilts in these games. For whatever reason, they will. I mean, Byron Leftwich looks a shell of himself. I know a lot of people criticize him in other games, but against the Saints, it's so noticeable. There's no adjustment. There's nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm just dumbfounded by it. I really am. It's 6 games that you've had a chance to look at this team, 7, including the playoffs.
Yeah.
Can't crack the code. And I'm looking here, 4 losses. If I would have told you before the season, you're going to lose games to Trevor Siemian, Taysom Hill, and Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
That's who's beating the Bucs right now.
Yeah. It's and again, you don't want to go too far with it because, number one, the injuries. Without those playmakers on the field late in the game, you're severely handicapped. But hey, Fournette played a large portion of the game.
Yeah.
And when all those guys were in there, I mean, I think Godwin had 6 catches before he went out.
You had 0 points.
Yeah.
You had 0 points.
0 points. 0 points. You couldn't convert on third down. And that's where your coaching and your playing becomes most important, is on third down. What schemes do you have on third down to take advantage of what they're doing? Even it seemed everything was hard last night. Even when they caught balls and moved the ball and got first downs, guys were blanketed in coverage. I mean, why? What you got to be able to scheme some guys open at times. I didn't see a whole lot of wide receiver screens last night. The tunnel screens, the underneath screens to running backs. If you're getting beat at the line of scrimmage and those guys are bullying you, then let's get outside. Let's move them around.
I mean, which running back you want to throw to? You want to throw to Rojo or you want to throw to Vaughn?
I like Rojo's good in the pass game. He can be. But first of all, you got to do something different. And they did start to run the ball with some effectiveness.
Yeah.
And that's something.
Rojo was one of the best parts of last night.
Yeah,
First,
absolutely.
He really was. I think he averaged almost 7 yards a pop. So he had 30-yard runs. So
ran the ball really
He ran the ball really hard. He looked fresh. But again, I just don't. It still feels like they're very on and off with him. I saw way too much Keyshawn Vaughn in that game later on, and they said Rojo was gassed or whatever.
He was gassed.
How are you gassed?
Because you're not playing. I mean, if you're only playing 6 or 7 plays a game or getting 6 or 7 touches a game, which is what he's had the past few weeks, if that, some games, then when you're called upon, practice doesn't get you ready. You're not getting thumped and tackled every play in practice. I mean, being a running back in this league is freaking hard. It is. It's hard. And you're getting, there's nothing that prepares you for that. You can't do it in practice. Getting hit, and getting up, and getting hit, and getting up. So, yeah, you got to have depth, and your guys just did not answer the bell. So I'd say in the order of blame on this one, and first and foremost, as much as I hate to do it, you got to tip your cap to the Saints. Man, they came to play. They came to play, and they physically beat up the Bucs last night. I mean, that's just part. You see the injuries; it's part of it. We got punked. We got bitch slapped, and there's no other way to say it. And hopefully, that's exactly the message that Bruce Arians brings to his players: is you got intimidated. You got intimidated last night by the Saints. They took it to you. They took your manhood. I hate to say that as a member of the press, but I think anybody in the game would look at that and say that was a physical beatdown. And you got to be better. You got to be better in a game like that.
Yeah, and I mean the silver lining here, it seems like there are only 2 teams in the NFL that really, or 3 teams that have cracked the code of the Bucs in the last 2 years. It's the Rams, the Washington, and the Saints. Those are the 3 teams that have cracked the code.
What do they have in common? Defensive line.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
of them can
It's a
get
great
after
point.
Brady. All of them can get after Brady, and all of them can physically beat you up. All three of those teams, especially with Rivera, that they will physically beat you up. That's who they are.
Yeah, and I mean those are three teams.
Now the Rams maybe a little less, but you look at Donald, Floyd, you look at their front seven, pretty damn stout.
I think their matchup is more offensively what they do.
Yeah.
The zone the Bucs play.
True.
Sean McVay eats that up.
Yeah.
I think that's more of that. But speaking back to like the Saints, those Redskins, I mean, if those are the teams that are beating you, obviously those are teams that are going to see you in the playoffs potentially, and that's going to be a big deal. And they overcame that last year. I'm going to bet my money they will again this year. But it's a trend. There's no doubt about it. There's a trend, and I wonder if other teams would catch on to it.
No, listen. If you have a big badass defensive line that can get after you physically, yeah, you have it. Those are the teams that give the Bucs problems. Because as Brady goes, the Bucs go. Now, look, the Saints just don't have enough firepower to compete in the playoffs offensively. And I think the Bucs win that game last night if they catch the ball. Just catch the ball. I mean, 7 drops equals at least 3 or 4 drives that come to a close. You're dropping balls on 3rd down or even 2nd down and 10, and now it's 3rd and 10. You can't, and they did that multiple times. You can't sustain drives. And the Saints aren't going to let you get anything big over the top. Very rare. So I think those were all the issues. So I don't think it's long-term unless all these injuries are long-term. I mean, if Evans is out for any extended period of time with his hamstring, Bucs ain't winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And if Leonard Fournette is out for any extended time with a hamstring, I think Rojo's good, but he makes 1 or 2 critical mistakes every game that usually cost you big time. So that scares me. If Godwin's out, we're screwed. We are totally screwed.
Yeah.
So, the health of these players is going to determine. And Levante went out with a foot last night too. So this game right here, circle it. Not only was a loss that probably cost you the number 1 seed, because the Cardinals go down to the freaking Lions. Told us why I wasn't worried about the Cardinals. And then freaking the Ravens are a 2-point conversion away from beating the Packers, and you're sitting there going, oh my God, this is all going to fall right in our lap tonight. We're going to go out and we're going to beat the Saints. We're going to be in the number 1 position. We got 3 cupcakes the rest of the way. Bada bing, bada boom. And then here you are, less than 12 hours later, going, we're down Godwin, Evans, Fournette. We just got skunked by the Saints. Damn, how things change in the NFL quick. I mean, quick.
Yeah, at least for the time being, though, we know Antonio Brown's coming back. That much we know.
Yep.
And
much to the dismay of many.
But
sorry, folks.
You know what, though? Based on what I saw tonight, and I think it is a real thing, Antonio Brown, he might get 20 targets next game.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
He might.
Yeah, you better be ready.
Might. Brady's going to be all –
you better be ready.
I know Gronk wasn't good, but I think for the rest of these last 3 games, assuming that Mike and Chris are out for the rest of the regular season, which they might hold him out as precautionary anyway, it's going to be the AB Gronk show, in my opinion. I don't know if Brady, how much he's going to go back to some of these other guys.
All right, let's listen to some of the sound from last night. We'll get into it. Let's just play the whole Brady sulk session last night. We get a whole 2.5 minutes out of Brady last night in his plain white tee. Did not look good.
The plain white. He did not. He looked his age.
Did not look like a Subway commercial last night. No makeup.
Look at that look too. He's given.
It's like it's a frown. It's a sullen look. It's what would you call that? Dismayed. I'm waiting for you to play. It's what's called Phil. So just hit play.
For you to get shut out.
Running out of adjectives.
But when you lose Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Leonard Fournette, that had to be a big part of today, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we just didn't execute great, obviously, and just tough night. So didn't do anything right. So got to get a lot better. Got to get back to work. There's a lot of football left, and see if we can go get a win next week.
Go to Greg on it.
Everything by
The
Zoom.
injuries played a big part tonight, but this Saints defense has handled you guys better than anybody else. What makes them do that? What has allowed them to beat you guys in 4 regular season games like this?
They're pretty good. They got a really good defense, really good scheme, tough to go against, well coached, a lot of great players, a lot of veteran players. They played together for a long time, so they did a great job.
Go to Jenna Lane.
It's gotta kill
Hey,
it.
Tom, I know you guys had a lot of expectations going into tonight with the red out, the stadium, and hopes of clinching the NFC South. Just how disappointing is it for you guys to not be able to clinch it on home turf?
Well, we just didn't play well enough, so I think it was just thinking about one game and how we could win the game, but obviously you don't score
I don't think
points. you're not
Tom
gonna
cares much about any of those things.
We'll go to Kevin O'Donnell.
win. Tough night.
Hey, Tom,
I think he
obviously
was
you guys
banking on the
outgained
red out.
the Saints by 90 yards, but was it not having, some of your key players down the stretch, when you had to convert on third down? Was that the biggest crippling factor on this game?
I don't think we were, much good of anything tonight. I wish it was just one thing. It was a lot of things. So we got to do better in every facet of offensive football to score points. We're not going to win scoring no points.
Go to Scott Reynolds.
Tom, after you threw the interception, looks like you had some words with Dennis Allen. What was discussed there?
Oh, nothing, just football.
He said, "Go F yourself."
Last
Dennis
question will
Allen.
come from Casey Hudson.
Hey, Tom, you guys talk a lot about the next man up mentality. What do you need to see more of out of the younger players, and especially in that wide receiver 3 slot?
Yeah, we just, a lot of guys got banged up tonight, but that's part of football. So got to try to figure out, who can go in and fill in some roles and play great football. And we're going to have to put together a great week this week.
Thank you for that insight, my friend. You're not going to get much from Brady there. I think what the only thing you can take away from that is that Brady's never going to call anybody out. He's going to just give you a feeling for what where he's at mentally, and he was pissed. I think he was very disappointed in himself. He didn't play well at all. I thought his ball placement was not as good as it has been. He missed Darden on a deep route, but by the way, the ISO on that play, Darden was jogging in the middle of the route. He wasn't busting off the line, and it ended up 2 yards too long. I mean, that's inexcusable, and he's going to get his ass ripped in films for that. You're on a go route, and midway through the route, you're not running 100%. That's your thing. That's when you got to blow by that guy. That's when you got to have. You don't just cruise and then here comes the ball. Let me turn on the Jets. This is the NFL, son. You don't do that. That's not how you play here. And you're not going to get any more shots if that's how you're going to play. Inexcusable.
And that's why I really don't shift blame to Tom Brady today. I really don't. And the first half, I actually thought he played, all things considered, I thought he played pretty well. The numbers look fine. He had some drops, but I think he had that really good ball to Gronk too down the sideline.
Yeah, dropped it right in the bucket.
I don't know what Gronk, he lost it in the lights.
Listen, Malcolm Jenkins knows how to play him. And that's that's a huge part of what the Saints are able to do. They feel like they can put Malcolm Jenkins on him one-on-one. They don't have to worry about anything else. And they're right. And because Malcolm plays him very physical, he doesn't get penalties because he's a veteran. That counts, by the way, that counts. And they know how to not get called for penalties. And he, maybe that last play there was where he kind of grabbed his arm, but they're hand fighting all the way down. I'm not bitching for a call here. Gronk does as much hand fighting as the next guy. So, so they don't have to worry about that. And that's a big defensive tactic that most every team has to worry about. They got to put a safety over the top, which allows everybody else to do other things. So this is why the NFL is such a week-to-week game, because it depends on matchups. And if you have a guy that can do that, which is not that Malcolm Jenkins is the fastest guy in the world, but he's physical. He's almost as big as Gronk, and he can handle him. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a play that needs to be made. I still think it's a play that needs to be made. You throw a ball that beautiful on the sideline there. You would have been down at the 1 or the 2 right there.
Yep.
That's a big play in the game that's got to be made, and it wasn't. You mentioned the Darden one where I don't know what he's doing there. I mean, that's what you were brought in to do, right?
Yeah, was to
run by guys.
That's right. You get a one-on-one, you better run by him.
You didn't run by anybody. Yeah. I've already mentioned Tyler Johnson, the first play of the game. the laziest slant route I think I've ever seen.
Terrible.
I mean, you got to get physical.
Yeah.
You got to rub your body against somebody, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Get
that's
some
kinda weird.
separation.
You got to do something. And even Scotty, and I know Scotty's not, for obvious reasons, he's not going to be the most physical guy. Maybe I'm protecting Tom here a little bit, but on that interception, I thought Scotty was running away from the ball a little bit. I think he may have needed to come forward a little bit on that one.
Well, that's a tough one because Brady's out of the pocket and he's rolling. And this is why it's hard to throw back across your body because you can't. It's a perspective thing. You can't really feel how fast the guy is trailing and how fast he's going to get there.
Yeah.
And what Brady just needed to throw it earlier. He threw it too late. Scotty was open, but when he moved out to the right, that ball's got to be out 2 steps before he actually threw the ball. And Brady knows that.
Yeah.
Brady knows that because you're pinning the guy against the sideline. You know, if he could have led Scotty more, he would have done that, but the sideline was right there. So you're throwing late, you're trying to make a play, and that's what happens.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to see Chauncey Gardner Johnson.
Especially up close and personal like he did it yesterday.
No, that guy is a world-class agitator.
Yeah.
World-class.
Tip the cap,
but
though.
He's doing what he's got to do.
I mean, if that was your defense last night, if you're a Saints fan, you're in heaven right now. I mean, they beat the crap. And I did get after one Saints fan was celebrating the hit by PJ Williams on Godwin on the knee. And he's like, that's for Jameis.
That's for Jameis.
Yeah, because
what?
Because remember, Devin White pulled him down by his jersey and his ACL'd him. But that wasn't, that wasn't Devin White putting his helmet on his knee.
No.
That was just a freak accident, and Jameis got hurt and he got the ACL. It sucks, but that was clearly not intentional. Whereas PJ's, I want to say it was intentional because I know you can't hit high now, you can't hit low. I mean, you can hit low. You can't go after that. I get it. It's hard for defensive players, but man, when you put your shoulder pad right on a guy's knee coming over the middle, I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do in that particular case, but it just, you hate to see it. And there were a lot of guys going low and taking people out. So, but to celebrate that and say, we're getting back at you for Jameis is bullshit. Come on, man. Be better. Be more grown up. Be a human. It's not cool. Let's listen to Arians a little bit here before we hit the break. Again, I listened to this knowing full well that I think this coaching staff got out coached, at least offensively.
Hey, Bruce, clearly you're not used to being shut out. You lost your 2 top receivers and your leading running back. How much was that a part of the story, or really hadn't scored before they went out?
Yeah, it was big. Obviously the young guys, I was hoping they'd step up a little bit more, the receivers. And overall, we just dropped too many balls too. I mean, when we did have some guys open, and they did a good job playing, they played that hard man-to-man, and we did not do a very good job of getting open.
Thanks.
And you can pause it there. That's what, we kind of talked about is this is such a great matchup for the Saints. They know exactly how to play this team don't let Brady get the ball out quickly, play that hard man-to-man up front. There are not a lot of teams that have the corners to do that, to be quite honest, or the pass rush to do it.
And let's be honest, when Mike goes out, especially Mike, because they game plan really well around him, if they're able to do that to Mike Evans, Tyler Johnson was his replacement.
Yeah.
So they said, all right, we'll just play the same way that we play Mike on Tyler Johnson. And what chance do you have there?
None.
I mean, it was just a perfect storm for New Orleans.
Yeah.
It really was.
But again, where are the adjustments? There are ways to handle.
We ask ourselves
press coverage.
We ask ourselves this often.
Yeah,
we do.
Yeah, I mean, I think this team has become very dependent upon their talent, and that's smart. I mean, you're using your talent well, but when you have a matchup like this, you got to do something different, and they have not shown any ability to adjust against the Saints at all. It's the same same offensive performance every single time we play them. You got to be better. Mr. Arians.
The line of scrimmage, just what their defensive line did to pressure Brady. I think they got to him for 4 sacks and kind of start things there.
Yeah, it's all coverage. I mean, we like to get the ball out of our hand quickly. They play that tight man and 2 deep safeties, and took some of those away and made us hold the ball.
Bruce, you guys had put a lot in wanting to be able to win a division title on your home field. How much does it hurt? You guys are going to win this division at some point, but how much does it hurt not to have that?
It hurts more losing all the players we lost. We lost about 7 starters in this game, so I'm more concerned about that, right?
Yeah, we'll find out more today.
Gentlemen.
Hey, Coach, along those lines, do you have an update on any of these players with the injuries? Mike, Chris, Lenny, Levante?
No, 2 or 3 hamstrings. Obviously, Chris's knee, Levante's foot, Leonard's a hamstring. So we'll wait and see.
And Coach, just before the game, Jason Light said on the Buccaneers radio network that Mike Edwards and Antonio Brown will be rejoining the team next week. Can you just speak to what went into that decision to bring both players back?
Yeah, it's in the best interest of our football team, and both those guys have served their time, and we welcome them back.
All right, pause that.
Mhm.
We'll go
All right, first and foremost, Ian Rappaport just released something. Go ahead and read that.
Yeah, so Chris Godwin, it's officially an MCL sprain, and he's going to miss the rest of the regular season. So he probably is going to be put on IR, which would put him out for 3 games anyway, and hopefully return to the playoffs.
Okay, well, bye-bye number 1 seed.
Yeah, and hey, I mean, the Bucs, they got hit hard in one position group all year long, which was the secondary.
Yeah.
Still getting hit, by the way, with it before the game.
Yeah, Anton Winfield?
I had no idea
Heard
what
nothing
happened
about
with
this week.
Winfield. I don't know.
Jamel Dean, we thought was going to play.
Yeah, Sherman. I mean,
Sherman,
we spoke
yeah.
to the media this week.
Yeah.
For crying out loud. There was
Yeah.
nothing from him.
There's been a lot of that this year for the Bucs.
Yeah.
Like late adds to the injury roster.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but hey, I mean, we were saying the Bucs are a good team that really avoided major injury on the offense. The worst time for it to happen. There's no doubt about that, because these are all, like I said, soft tissue injuries. Those are tough to really gauge.
Get over quickly. Yeah.
Mike with a hamstring, I don't like that one at all.
No,
because he has a history. So it's going to be a little
moving
tough.
into cold weather season. Yeah, this is how things change so quickly in the NFL, folks. Injuries, can be a great equalizer. And all on the AD and Mike Edwards coming back situation. I mean, let's call this what it is. There's a lot of vitriol being directed at Rick Stroud, who reported originally the story. I've said many times, that's his job to do that, folks. He's not playing cheerleader. He's not for or against. And it's not my job to defend Rick Stroud, but I'll defend journalism when I see it, because it doesn't even exist when people do it. This is how it's supposed to work. He reports the story, and the consequences are the consequences. I don't think he was cheerleading for AB not to return, but I don't think there's any question that his paper, the column that Romano wrote, there's a feeling among those folks that AB should not play, and that AB should be arrested for a felony. There's just differences of opinion on how these things should be treated. I do not feel like many that he endangered the lives of people. He did not. I don't agree with what he did or how he went about what he's doing with the fake card. That's not right. Shouldn't do that. But he's also a guy that had COVID before, had natural immunity, and was vaccinated. So he got the vaccine anyway. I don't see how people are so. And by the way, we're going to get into the COVID a little bit later on, but all these players are vaccinated that are getting COVID and transmitting it. Stop with this. Oh, if you're unvaccinated, you're the one who's spreading it. No, it's not just the unvaccinated. Everybody is spreading it. This Omicron is universally more transmissible than any of the other versions that they made. So everybody's going to get it. Thank God it's super mild. All these players are, for the most part, completely asymptomatic. So nobody's in danger now. These players that are getting the flu and spreading the flu, much more sick, much more dangerous than this variant right here. And people are like, well, 800,000 people have died from this. Not from Omicron. Not from Omicron, folks. This is a strain, different version. The people died from that from the beginning, comorbidities, blah, blah, blah. We can go into all that stuff. Stop with that rhetoric. This is not going to be the variant that wipes out people. We're not seeing that. So every circumstance deserves a different response. And the response of complete hysteria over this is nothing more than politicizing it the way it's been politicized from the very beginning. Doesn't match the science. So stop with all the indignation about what, we've got to make sure that people are doing the right things within these, nobody's going to we can't have anybody getting sick or going to the hospital here. Look, people go to the hospital all the time for a lot of different things, folks. And it still remains way more likely that every one of these players are endangering themselves more getting into their car, going to the facility than they are from Omicron. And it's not even close. And those are scientific numbers. All right, we can continue now. But wait to hear what Steve Eiserman said later on in the show. That's very interesting and needed to be said.
Starters in this game, so I'm more concerned about that right now.
Re-rack.
Thank you.
We'll go to Jenna Lane.
All right, we already heard this.
Hey, Coach, along those lines, do you have an update on
That's
any
fine.
of these players with the injuries, Mike?
Let's see.
And Coach, just before the game, Jason Light said on the Buccaneers
fine.
radio network that Mike Edwards and Antonio.
Both those guys have served their time, and we welcome them back.
That's right.
Thank you.
We'll go to Scott Reynolds. If any media have a question, please raise your hand.
Bruce, you guys struggled in some short yardage situations. On a 3rd and 2, there's a deep shot to Jalen Darden that's incomplete. The 4th and 1, it's a deep shot to Gronk that's incomplete. Keyshawn Vaughn failed to get a yard on 3rd and 1. Can you explain the rationale in taking such deep shots for those first 2 I mentioned when you need one or two
I
yards?
think it was just the man-to-man who was single covered, and they, I'll take that Gronk matchup most times, and whether he was interfered with or not, but I'll still take that matchup.
All right, hold on
Thank you,
there.
Chris.
So, yeah, I mean, you get the one-on-one matchup, but it's a one-on-one matchup down the field, a deep throw. It's a low percentage play. Now, if you got Gronk on a quick out or something, it's a short throw and he could be more accurate with it. Yeah, but one sense is that both of those balls are going deep down the field. They're low percentage completions on 3rd and short and 4th and short.
Maybe my memory is deceiving me, but I feel like I've seen this play out before during the season. Have I not? Where it's been a low, like a 3rd and 1, 4th and 1.
Yeah.
And they've said, all right, Gronk's over there. Let's throw a 25-yard pass down the field. And it never has worked.
No.
I don't remember it working yet so far this year.
No.
I don't understand it.
And where's it again? If you're going to throw the ball in that situation, it's a rub route. I did not see any creativity. I mean, if that was Byron Leftwich auditioning for the Jacksonville job, well, we don't have to worry about losing him.
I know,
because that was awful.
He's checked out already. Who knows?
I guess. And in those situations, and again, physicality, the number one reason they lost last night. They were out physical. They were not as intense as New Orleans was. Injuries, number 2, but number 3, I think. Number 3, I'd say drop passes, and guys not stepping up in the moment when they had opportunities. And then I'd say number 4, outcoached from a defensive standpoint to an offensive standpoint. All right. Let's take a break. We'll take a break. That's 38 minutes without a break in the first segment. We are brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. Enjoy some of our sponsored messages here, and we'll be back with you in just a few minutes.
Who wants free mobile service? I do, and you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up. Is your health care way too expensive? Well, with the new Biden administration, health care laws have changed dramatically. Now you can get health care insurance through the Affordable Care Act for little or no cost to you. In fact, with the new laws, 90% of Americans qualify for reduced or free health care. Great plans like Florida Blue. That's my carrier. Absolutely love them. I'm paying $600 less after making the call. 877-652-0244. The representative will walk you through the whole process. Just get some basic information on your income, number of kids, and then they'll find a plan that best fits your needs. They know all the intricacies of these new laws. They will do all the work. You save tons of money. This opportunity will not last long, and you'll have to wait till 2022 to get the deal. So give them a call. It's real health insurance, free doctor visits, free blood work, no deductibles. 877-652-0244. 877-652-0244.
JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
Are you in the market for a refinance or looking for a new home? You got to call my man, Fitz the Mortgage Guy, Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. I have got literally a notebook here of testimonials on what a great job he's done for so many of our listeners. Scott saved me $1,200 up front. Scott paid for my appraisal. Scott got my PMI taken off. Scott helped me pay off my car. Well, he didn't give them money, but he refinanced everything for these folks and showed them a great strategy to get rid of a lot of their debt. He's not just a mortgage broker. He's like a financial counselor, and he's passionate to get you the lowest rate and keep you from paying those upfront lender fees. You know those folks that say, we'll pay your closing costs? Well, then they come back and hit you with all these other fees. Folks, go to a local guy who's got a great reputation, been in the business for 20 years here, done 3,000 local mortgages. Scott Fitzgerald. Email him, scott@amstampa.com. That's scott@amstampa.com.
JP, Santa, and young St. Nick. Get us right over here. My partner for the Golden Diamond Source. You hear that? Christmas music. It's Christmas time. You just popped a question to your lady from the Golden Diamond Source diamond that you got.
Yes, I did. The Golden Diamond Source, the best place to go get your diamond for an engagement. They helped me out so much. They were so courteous to me for somebody who was so nervous. And it's Christmas time, like you said. If you're thinking about popping the question, you need to go to the Golden Diamond Source.
It's the Jewelry Supercenter, fully stocked, fully staffed, and yes, just a short drive from downtown Tampa or wherever you're coming from, right there on Ulmerton Road. Avoid the madness at the malls. And whether you're a first-time buyer or looking for that 10-carat custom design, they have it all. 9 jewelers in-house ready to make your dreams come true. Even layaways, 100% interest-free financing up to 5 years. Shop now for your best selection at the Gold and Diamond Source and make your lady wonderfully happy, like Nick did. That's absolutely. Shop anytime online at thegoldanddiamond.com.
JP here for Roof Max. And if you own a home or business with an asphalt shingle roof, listen up. Shingles are made from a petrochemical, just like the roads. So they get old, get brittle, and have to be replaced for tens of thousands of dollars. But not anymore. Remember this name, Roof Max. They have created a natural bio oil that is professionally sprayed on a dried out roof. It doesn't clean it, coat it, or seal it. It actually penetrates the shingle and brings back its bendability and weatherproofing properties to almost new. So the question is, does it work? Yeah, the research was done by Ohio State University independently, and it's clinically proven to work. It's guaranteed for up to 15 years. Now, one of the sharks on Shark Tank invested in this, so you know it's great, and they've successfully rejuvenated tens of thousands of roofs. So yes, it worked. So don't shell out 20 grand for a new roof. Call Roof Max at 352-559-9981 or go to roofmaxnorthflorida.com. That's 352-559-9981. Get it done at a fraction of the price of a new roof, guaranteed. Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com. Let's go.
Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. JP Peterson Show brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo, who I spoke with over the weekend, and we are very busy trying to prepare our response to the Rays' no corporate support false narrative that they continue to put out there. So hopefully we'll have some very interesting things coming up quite soon. And don't forget, Christopher Palermo is fighting for your rights and protecting your home and sinkhole, hurricane, roof damage, and defective stucco and construction defects. He will fight the builders as well as the big insurance companies, making sure you get what you deserve. Let Chris Palermo fight them for you. Call him at 813-221-5636 or go to palermopa.com for a free consultation. So if you think you have a case, just call him up and find out. You might just. All right, if you want to participate in the show at FanStream JP, at Nick Gets News, or at the JP Peterson Show, you can tweet us right there and give us your thoughts on why the Buccaneers lost. What are your reasons, and do you think this is something that is going to be a worry down the road if there's a scheme that the Saints have shown or some blueprint? Where do you think the Bucs go from here? We kind of ran through all that in our first segment. By the way, Chris Godwin, we mentioned MCL strain. Looks like he is going to be out maybe for the rest of the regular season. Rick Stroud reporting Bucs have made no decisions on whether to place him on injured reserve, which would end his regular season until conferring with doctors. Regardless, they hope he will return for the playoffs. And that does beg a question right now. What do you do just philosophically with these injuries? Do you rest them and point at the playoffs, or there's still an opening there to get the number one seed? I mean, you're tied with the Cowboys, but you have the tiebreaker there. The Packers now have to lose probably 2 games, and you win out. So it's unlikely. And there's really, I don't think, a whole lot of difference between 2 seed, the 3 seed. You're going to win the division. So at that point, do you make sure that these guys are ready for the playoffs and take your home playoff games where you get them?
I mean, common sense, you have 3 layups, twice with the Panthers, once with the Jets, 3 teams that have been reeling for a long time. I don't think with these guys, play or not, it shouldn't dictate the outcome of the game, I don't think. With that being said, I think past history shows the Bucs don't really like to rest guys. I think they like to have those guys out there and roll. They'd prefer to roll into the playoffs on some kind of little streak there with some kind of continuity in the offense and not having to get these guys back in a playoff game, in whatever case it's going to be. And we've seen many times, even in games where the Bucs are blowing guys out, the starters are out there late in the game. Yep. So based off that, I would not count Chris Godwin out yet, Mike Evans or Fournette to play the rest of the
Godwin
season.
was running on the sideline last night.
He looked like he wanted to go back in.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't.
Yes.
I'm glad he didn't. But because again, Saints were they were intent on beating up the Bucs last night, and they did just that. All right. COVID has hit the NHL, the NBA, everybody very hard with this Omicron variant. It's extremely contagious, but it is very, very mild, especially to those in the younger categories. And most of the players in the NFL and all of the league are completely asymptomatic. It's just chaos right now as far as who's playing and who's not. The games have been moved. We got, a bunch of games, which actually makes Monday and Tuesday way more fun. We get more games, but it's also how do we move forward with this? And I always say this: sports is kind of microcosm for life, and I think a lot of our officials look to see what's happening in sporting events, and people, through this whole COVID thing are trying to look at what other people are doing and copying that as to not have to take responsibility themselves and make decisions. Steve Yzerman is not waiting around for that. Obviously, this is a man. This is a Type A man that can see through a lot of BS and is finally speaking up about this. Our former general manager is obviously seeing that the NHL canceled games. The Lightning had their game with the Avs canceled this weekend. Their road trip is probably more in jeopardy as they deal with this. The NFL, to their credit, has decided not to test asymptomatic players. From now on, unless you have symptoms, you're not getting tested in the NFL. And watch the amount of cases go down dramatically. It doesn't mean guys don't have it. They don't have Omicron. They're all going to have it eventually, but at least they're not sick. They're sitting around, doing nothing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, here's Steve Yzerman saying what needs to be said.
I don't know what
if you have the courage to
At
say.
the end of the day, I think
Please
now I'm getting political.
After that huge buildup.
I don't know what the right thing is. At the end of the day, I think
what is going on?
now I'm getting political. But at the end of the day, I don't know what.
I do not know.
Give me a second here. Let me.
All right. I'll read the Outkick story while you do that. Former NHL star, current Red Wings GM Steve Yzerman has spoken out about testing healthy athletes for COVID as the NHL, NFL, and NBA have become ravaged with reported cases. Quote, I know I'm getting political, but at the end of the day, our players are testing positive with very little symptoms, if any symptoms at all. I don't see it as a threat to their health at this point. So I think we need to take it a step further and question, why are we even testing these guys that have no symptoms?
But at the end
Despite
of the day,
vaccination rates near 100%, the NHL, NFL, and NBA are all experiencing what are considering major outbreaks of the coronavirus and postponing games. While vaccination supposedly isn't intended to slow the spread, though that's how it was promoted at first, it is supposed to minimize symptoms. Quote from Yzerman, players ultimately want to play. None of the players have to come up and said, hey, we should shut this down. If they feel that way, they haven't expressed it to us. All right, here we go.
Yeah, got the audio working here.
our players are testing positive with very little symptoms, if any symptoms at all. I don't see it as a threat to their health at this point. So I think it might take it a step further and question why are we testing for guys that have no. I don't know what the right thing is. At the end of the day, I think, and now I'm getting political, but at the end of the day, our players are testing positive with very little symptoms, if any symptoms at all. I don't see it as a threat to their health at this point. So I think it might take it a step further and question
the video cuts
why
out
are
here.
we testing
it might be
for guys that have no symptoms.
So I think that's also something else. The players are getting extremely frustrated with this, with the whole thing. I think this marker is a microcosm of what we're seeing in our nation is that they're tired of being, their liberties being taken away, jobs being taken away, for promises of, if you take the vaccine, you don't have to wear a mask anymore. Lie. If you take the vaccine, you won't spread COVID. Lie. If you take the vaccine, it's safe and effective. 48,000 people have died from the 2 weeks after taking the vaccine. That's from the Medicare statistics, by the way. I didn't make that up. But nobody's allowed to talk about that. So it's crazy. It's all these things, and now they're shutting down games, and people aren't getting paychecks, and now we're going to go into more lockdowns. Can somebody please tell me? Take a case study. Besides an island that had 7 cases and then shut everything down and stopped it. Okay, we're in a nation of 350 million people. We can't do that. It's already out there. Omicron's already out there. So please show me what mitigation techniques that we've used that have demonstratively worked, where you could say, oh, see, that worked. Masks? No. You go anywhere you want to go and look at the number of people wearing masks. 98%, 85%, 75%. The waves just go wherever they want to. It is not, mask wearing does not work. It does not help the spread. Now, listen, if you're sick, you shouldn't be leaving the house anyway. If you're going out into public and you're sick, wearing a mask will help. Anything else, it's not working for you, folks. But yet we continue to do it. We continue to put these mandates out there. Lockdowns, locking people in, incredible data now shows that that's counterproductive. But we're still going to do that? I mean, keeping people from going outside it's ridiculous. Everything we've tried doesn't work, but yet we're going to keep doing it. Vaccinations, you won't be spreading the disease. Lie, doesn't work. Sorry, keeps people from getting sick. I'm all for people that are in the risk category to get the vaccines. You need to get the vaccines. And by the way, if you have the vaccine, which most of the players do, they're not in danger, right? By definition, they're not in danger of getting really sick. So what are we doing? Play the freaking games. Let's go. Nobody's sick. Nope. If they're going to spread it, they'll spread it anyway. It just play the freaking games.
And I think the most egregious thing I saw or interesting I saw this week with COVID was actually on Saturday. I don't know if you saw this, but Memphis was supposed to play Tennessee in basketball at the Bridgestone in Nashville. Big game. An hour before tip-off, where the fans were already ready to go and players are ready to go, they called the game off. They called the game off because of COVID issue. Not even COVID issue. Nobody tested positive. The Memphis players reportedly were at a party the night prior, and that was enough for them to cancel the game right there before they'd done any test on anything. So they canceled the game an hour prior.
What?
And all the fans who were there paid tickets. And this was not a game that was on either campus either. These are people that had to travel to Nashville to watch this game. And it was canceled right there on the day of.
That is so freaking completely ridiculous. I mean, what did you accomplish by that? Guess what? The people that were going to the game went to restaurants. The players that were going to play in the game went and did something else. We act like if we cancel the game, then everybody's going to be safe. No, they're still going out into public. Guess what? If kids aren't going to school, they're going somewhere else. Teachers' COVID rates went up from them staying at home and not going to school. You know why? Because they weren't staying at home. We act like if you cancel something that people stop doing things and you're stopping the spread. No, they're just going different places. Oh my God. This stupidity in this thing drives me nuts. People, it's all virtue signaling. You act like you're doing something you're not. And with the things that we should be doing, like talking a lot about the treatments and getting people monoclonal antibodies, getting people ivermectin, getting people all these things that work instead of keeping them from getting it, might be a better use of all this chaos. And if you want to be vigilant about something, let's be vigilant about treating people for this disease and getting back to normal and not shutting down our economies because of it. How about in Montreal? 2 hours before the game the other night, they canceled the game.
2 hours before the game started, I don't think they canceled it. They announced they had no fans.
No fans.
No fans. 2 hours prior, no fans.
I mean,
like that's what we're going back to again.
Ridiculous.
And by the way, I tuned in just to see what it's like again to have no fans.
It's awful.
It sucks.
It's awful.
It sucks. It's unwatchable.
It's unwatchable.
There's no way after we just had a whole season here basically with fans that I could ever go back to watching games without fans. There's no way. And I know Canada's going to do that because that's what Canada
is. Perfect example of all this stuff.
Yeah.
Their lockdowns and stuff are through the roof. And their cases, their vaccine levels, all this stuff. They have more people dying, more people getting infected with all the crap that they're going through than places like Florida.
Yeah, and I think that's why.
And they act like there's not a toll on these things.
Yeah,
I mean, look at the suicide rate, look at the mental health rate, look at people, all these other things people are dying from. The catastrophic parts on our economy and everything. We're going to make nobody get sick, and then look at all the other damage that we're doing. The cure is 10 times worse than what we've actually experienced.
And I think, though, because of Canada, the way they are, the NHL is probably at the most risk here of all the leagues. I mean,
that's why Yzerman's speaking up.
Yeah, and I think they already canceled any games for the rest of the year until the new year begins of Canada-USA games, where USA teams are traveling to Canada. I think they've already called those off. So that's the first sign right there that things are not going to be normal in the NHL, I don't think, because of Canada right now.
So they've already said that NHL teams can't travel to Canada anymore?
Until the new season, January begins, for the rest of this holiday time. And then the Olympics, of course, it's looking very likely ain't happening.
Here's the thing. Just if you can show me one scintilla of evidence that any of that works, I would go with you, but it doesn't work. You're just virtue signaling. You're not doing anything. It just, wow. And Iserman's right. And the NFL, and how much crap did the NFL get for saying, we're not going to be testing our asymptomatic players anymore?
I don't think they're getting really any crap.
They're getting
the tone I'm seeing, everybody's starting to get, sick of this right now.
Absolutely.
But in my opinion, though, honestly, if the NBA and the NFL and the NHL were serious about player safety, if they really were, they would have paused the leagues by now.
Right.
If they were actually serious about this.
Right.
Especially in the NBA where
that would do nothing, though.
It wouldn't do anything, but by their logic, I'm saying not by my logic.
Yeah, exactly.
By their logic, you should not be playing any games now.
Right. Exactly. If you're going by that, if you're looking for zero spread and zero cases, if that's the goal, guys are going to get sick. It's just, actually, they're not getting sick. They're going to test positive. And the NFL has made the right move, and hopefully everybody will follow. All right, we'll take another break, and when we come back, we'll get into the rest of the NFL, some interesting games. The Packers and the Ravens, John Harbaugh goes for it again for the win. Was that the right move? Bucs fans, I'm sure you were watching that game with great interest. And who distinguished themselves yesterday in terms of the playoff chase? We'll talk about that next.
Who wants free mobile service? I do, and you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
JP, Santa, and young Saint Nick. Get us right over here. My partner for the Gold and Diamond Source. You hear that? Christmas music. It's Christmas time. You just popped a question to your lady from the Gold and Diamond Source diamond that you got.
Yes, I did. The Gold and Diamond Source, the best place to go get your diamond for an engagement. They helped me out so much. They were so courteous to me for somebody who was so nervous. And it's Christmas time, like you said. If you're thinking about popping the question, you need to go to Gold and Diamond Source.
It's the Jewelry Supercenter, fully stocked, fully staffed, and yes, just a short drive from downtown Tampa or wherever you're coming from, right there on Ulmerton Road. Avoid the madness at the malls. And whether you're a first-time buyer or looking for that 10-carat custom design, they have it all. 9 jewelers in-house ready to make your dreams come true. Even layaways, 100% interest-free financing up to 5 years. Shop now for your best selection at the Gold and Diamond Source and make your lady wonderfully happy, like Nick did. That's absolutely. Shop anytime online at thegoldanddiamond.com.
Hey, JP here for the Black Rock Bar and Grill, and they got a new menu out, Johnny. This is unbelievable. Some incredible burger creations. Here's my new favorite, mac and cheese burger. Half pound of certified Angus beef, American cheese, bacon, finished with our macaroni and cheese. Are you kidding me? Or a nacho burger with fried jalapenos, grilled onions. They got a ghost pepper chipotle burger. That's hot. Or the Fat Elvis burger. I mean, there's so many good burgers on this thing. It's amazing. What do you like?
I've been taking a look at the seafood section of this summer menu. 8 jumbo shrimp. Unbelievable, man. It goes perfectly with their burgundy mushrooms.
Oh, I love the mushrooms.
It's delicious.
So good. Of course, you get the steak on a 755-degree stone. You cook it right there in the garlic butter, the casino butter. It's fillets. You can do your shrimp on it, your chicken. It's unlike any other place. It's the Black Rock Bar and Grill. You got to go. It's a new menu. Tell them JP sent you. Brandon and Carrollwood. Get to the Black Rock.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back. The JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. You can reach him at palermopa.com, and he will fight for you against the big insurance companies. If you have any sinkhole damage, hurricane roof damage, defective stucco, or construction defects, that's another one of his niches. You can call him 221-5636, 813-221-5636 for a free consultation to see if you have a case. All right, let's go around the NFL. Obviously, the other big game was the Ravens and the Packers. Came down to, well, first of all, the Ravens were down 2 touchdowns late, and Hundley brought him back. I thought he played a really, really good game. I thought he was very, very impressive, especially in the late goings there. They leads him down to two touchdowns. One was a scramble for about 12 yards for the game-tying touchdown. It was just tremendous. I mean, and we also have to say how good Aaron Rodgers was. I think he may have taken the lead for the MVP with that performance yesterday. And our former USF guy, MVS, Valdez-Scantling, had another big game with a couple of tutties. I'm glad I picked him up on my fantasy for my consolation bowl.
Say, are you even still in things
We
right now?
have it. Well, the losers get into the consolation bowl,
the toilet bowl.
Yeah. So if you win, you got to win 2. If you win 2 games, you get basically your entry fee back. So you have to play till the end.
Cool.
So
I had a nice little bye week this week for
Did
the
you?
playoffs.
Oh, okay. Sitting back and you're watching everybody else beat each other up. Yeah. So, but it's good for him to get that guy back. The Packers are getting healthy. They look good at the right time, but still, they gave up 31 points to a Lamar Jackson-less Ravens team. So I'm not going to, sit here and say the Packers are unbeatable.
You're not unbeatable, but I still think they're the best team in the league. The majority of the year, they've looked the best team in the league. And Rodgers, because of Brady's performance last night, that probably lost him the MVP, I'd probably say. I don't know how he recovers from that one.
People for 3 games. It was a primetime game. It was Sunday night. Thankfully, most people probably tuned out at halftime. But I think the fact that everybody got injured kind of mitigates what happened last night with Brady a little bit.
We'll see. But Rod, I mean, there's not. I'm telling you, the throws this guy makes,
unbelievable.
Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he had one. I think you might have saw the view. They showed it from Rodgers what he was seeing. The guy's not even. I think you might have seen it. That throw over the middle of the field to Scantling.
Yeah.
What even is that?
A lot of practice, a lot of confidence that you can stick it in a very small window. He's the Picasso when it comes to throwing the football. I mean, he's just so artistic and so good at what he does. Like, he is more a Picasso, where I would say Brady is more of a, I don't know, my art analogies aren't the best.
Phone back to kindergarten.
Norman Rockwell, a realist.
Yeah.
You like he just he's just very foundational, fundamental, and he executes to a T. That looks, like a Rockwell painting. You look at him like, my God, it's like looking at a picture. So he just, but the two of them are virtuosos in what they do. Just amazing. But this one came down to a 2-point conversion, just like it did with the Steelers. I think in this case, Harbaugh read the room exactly right, because, the Packers are at home. Aaron Rodgers is hot as a match. You got to, if you take the lead in that position, at least you have a chance to win the game. He's still going to have 42 seconds to come back and get a field goal. But, there's more pressure. If you're driving and it's a tied game, you're playing with house money, totally playing with house money. Now with Rodgers, it may not make a difference, but with receivers, they know, crap, if I drop this pass on 3rd down, we're going to lose this game. We're going to lose this game. So I think it puts more pressure on the offense when you're behind than just tied. Number one. Number two, if they win the toss, the chances of your defense holding up against Rodgers in that situation are pretty minimal, to be quite honest. So I think you got to win it right there. You have one play. Now, the play they chose, sprint right, one receiver on the pylon. No.
Oh, that's horrible.
You're cutting off, 2/3 of the field, number one. Number two, they did have Hollywood Brown man-to-man coverage dragging the back of the end zone, who was wide freaking open. I mean, if Hundley sees him, that's an easy pitch and catch, because the safety that was supposed to be in that hole jumped the route to Mark Andrews, who wasn't open, by the way. He was never open on any part of this play. It's just a terrible play. You limit your options. Terrible play.
And that's not a John Harbaugh call either. I mean, he's not the one calling those plays.
Right. Well, he's going to have an input on.
He might have an input.
Like, what's your best? I mean, at this point, they better have a better 2-point play than that.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, that's zero creativity.
You think he might have learned from, 3 weeks ago, he did the same thing, and they called the similar play where they rolled out right, and it just tipped off Mark Andrews' hands. Go figure.
And analytics, by the way, say that 38% of the time, if you roll your quarterback out on the 2-point, you make it. If you just drop him at the middle of the field and read the whole field, 53%.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
But
I've noticed, though, there's a trend going on in the NFL. Everybody's going for 2. Everybody, and not just at the end of the game. Like, guys are going for 2 now, or going for it on 4th down, going for 2, like in random spots of the game where it's not like that important. And they're really not trusting kickers anymore. I understand that, but I think there's definitely a debate there of should you be going for 2 as much in the NFL. But in that case, in that scenario, you're not giving the ball to Aaron Rodgers with 40 seconds left.
No,
are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. So if
3 first downs,
yeah, nobody. I would not put any blame on. We can talk about the play call you want. The decision was right.
Yeah,
the decision was right, and I felt kind of the same way with Staley on Thursday night. I think some of the calls just weren't up to snuff.
Yeah, you got to execute better.
And here,
make the play.
Who do you want the game on? I know, again, situations are different. Justin Tucker's the best kicker in NFL history.
True.
You have confidence he's going to nail that 35-yard kick and send you to overtime.
Right.
Mark Andrews was as hot as anybody yesterday that I saw play football.
But you limited him.
And you limited him, though, by sending him out there.
Terrible. Give him a 2-way go in the middle of the field. Let him work the middle of the field. Have them defend the entire part of the field, not just a third of the field. It's too easy.
Yeah, it would have been big for the Bucs, but the weirdest thing about that is who's in first place now? If they went in the AFC North now,
who's that?
The Browns.
The Browns. That's right. How crazy is that?
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. By the way, Nick Mullins is starting tonight, so Baker and Case Keenum did not get out of protocol.
No. So I will not be switching over then to that game.
You won't be watching that one?
No, I will not. If you get versus, they're playing the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's not a good watch.
Yeah. What is the NFL schedule for the rest of the way here?
I think that game's at 5 today. 5 o'clock is that one, and then you're going to get Minnesota, Chicago later.
Okay.
Which I think is a much better game.
I have no interest in watching the Bears whatsoever.
No, but I'll watch the Vikings, and hopefully Kirk Cousins proved me right on big time, prime time games.
What? That
by
he's
blowing it.
Crap the bed?
By blowing it, yeah.
Like he always does. All right. Other games yesterday, the Cardinals lose at the Lions by 18. What the F? Like, what was that?
The Lions, man, they play hard. They play hard for Dan Campbell. As marginally talented as they are, they play pretty hard in the rate. I mean, you haven't been buying the Cardinals all year long.
No.
And they're definitely they're trending downward right now, heading into the postseason.
Yeah. And they're not battle tested in the December football is different.
Yeah.
But December football is different in a lot of different ways. And you got to prove that you can win at this time of year and in the playoffs as well before I'm going to have any confidence in you whatsoever.
I don't think Kyler Murray's played his best football either since he's come back from the injury.
No,
I don't think so.
No, he hasn't. In other games this weekend, speaking of the AFC, the Colts beat the Patriots badly.
Yeah.
By the way, this just in, Bill Belichick came to the mic this morning in his Monday press conference and apologized to the media for being short with them on Saturday night.
Yeah. And
I apologize. Yeah, it was a little short. We don't play that well. It was, didn't do anything right. So
no, he doesn't say that much. He doesn't say that much.
I'm sorry. Oh, thanks, Coach. They really came from the heart. Do you have a heart? Is there one in there?
I don't
know. Grinch. But impressive what the Colts did. This is why back when the Bucs went in there and beat the Colts like they did, scored 38 points on them. I was like, and people were like, oh, their stars played well, but it's not a great win. I'm like, get out of your freaking mind.
And then he kind of threw it back. I think Frank Reich kind of threw it back in Belichick's face. He barely threw the ball. What did Carson Wentz throw, like 12 times in that game?
Yeah.
I think it was like 12 times. He completed 5 passes, Carson Wentz. That was it.
Yikes. Well, listen, Jonathan Taylor
is unbelievable.
In the game, in the league right now where it's hard to run the football. This is because the league is so set up for passing. Teams that run the football and a guy getting 200 yards now is just so rare. It's so incredibly rare. And this guy is he's dominant. I mean, he is such a weapon. And you watch him play, he gets through holes that are just, you don't even think they're there. He just kind of squirts out the other side. He's got breakaway speed. He's hard to tackle. Right now, he's my MVP. Would you take him over? It's funny because we watch Brady play, and I know it's not easy. It's not easy at all because obviously look how hard it was last night. But it's just like somehow I think what Jonathan Taylor is doing is harder.
Most valuable to your team, right?
Well,
that's why I think I would have said last year.
Lamar Jackson should win it every year.
Well, I was going to say, if we were going off that last year, Derrick Henry should have won the MVP last year because clearly look how much he's worth to the Titans. Mm-hmm. That's another team that's just like Jonathan Taylor. He is that offense.
Yeah.
And the Titans, since he's gone down, he don't look so good. So I think Jonathan Taylor, he should be the MVP because, I mean, what are the Colts right now? They've gotten up to like 8-7 or 7-6, something like that right now. And that's a quarterback that really has been really spotty all year long like that.
Yeah.
And to do that against New England's defense, I mean, that to me, that was his MVP moment.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Colts are a good football team. I wouldn't want to play them. Tell you another team that people don't want to play is the 49ers.
No.
Yeah, 49ers. No. And that's a team that could be a bad matchup for the Buccaneers because they're good up front and they play physical football.
That's a terrible matchup. And I feel the same way about it, not because of just the line, but Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, a lot of similarities there. Deebo Samuel, Cooper Kupp. That's a problem. That's a nightmare for me, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't want, and that's a team, honestly, the Bucs could see, if they don't lock up one of these first round buys.
Yeah. And a team. Look, after a game like last night, you suddenly feel very vulnerable if you're the Buccaneers, right? And you're in their fans. It was a perfect storm of a lot of bad crap happening. When Suckup missed that field goal early on, I was like, this is how you get beat, man. This is how you get beat. And just making stupid plays like that. That play when they pinned them down on the goal line and they run a quarterback sneak for 6 yards. When Taysom Hill got right in behind him. That was another play. They had a chance to get the ball back and get some. They had 3 timeouts. They could have got some points, but you kind of let them do that on first down, and they're just going to get I think they're going to get a first down, and the half's over. Just little stuff like that last night where the Bucs just got bullied and it hurt them.
And I know like you said, the Bucs look vulnerable, and I'm not saying that any team can just go in and do what the Saints did. I think, like you said, there are certain matchups that is proven that can beat the Bucs. Honestly, I don't think Dallas, the way they're playing right now, is a threat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. And we could talk about that game too, where you're playing a depleted Giants team, and that offense is not Dak Prescott. I don't know what's wrong with him. I really don't know. His splits,
He's hurt.
His splits since he came back from the injury they're pretty insane.
Well,
what he's doing right now.
It's his right calf, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's your plant leg, man. That's your push-off leg. If you don't have that, if you don't have confidence in it, if you don't have the strength in it, you got nothing. You just can't throw the football. You can't. And he looks inaccurate. He looks indecisive. When you can't put the ball where you want to put it, you're going to be indecisive and not confident.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me. Their defense is balling out.
It's pretty easy when you get Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yesterday.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Tiger Woods almost won a tournament yesterday with the newest star on the PGA Tour. I don't think he's on the tour yet, but he's the one that everybody wants to watch play golf. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Are in the market for a refinance or looking for a new home, you got to call my man, Fitz the Mortgage Guy, Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. I have got literally a notebook here of testimonials on what a great job he's done for so many of our listeners. Scott saved me $1,200 up front. Scott paid for my appraisal. Scott got my PMI taken off. Scott helped me pay off my car. They didn't give him money, but he refinanced everything for these folks and showed them a great strategy to get rid of a lot of their debt. He's not just a mortgage broker. He's like a financial counselor, and he's passionate to get you the lowest rate and keep you from paying those upfront lender fees. You know those folks that say, we'll pay your closing costs? Well, then they come back and hit you with all these other fees. Folks, go to a local guy who's got a great reputation, been in the business for 20 years here, done 3,000 local mortgages. Scott Fitzgerald. Email him, scott@amstampa.com. That's scott@amstampa.com. Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com. Hey, did you start a new gig, a little side hustle during COVID? Well, if you don't have business insurance, you could be risking your personal fortune. That's how it works. JP here for Italiano Insurance. That's right. If you don't have business insurance, you can get sued and lose everything you've worked for. Not a good idea. Call the good folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. And if you have existing business insurance, shop it around. They could save you thousands of dollars as well. 813-877-7799. Who wants free mobile service? I do. And you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We thank you for listening each and every day, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. You can join us each and every day, 10 to 12. We are live. Now, we will be taping shows for later on this week, so we will not be live Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for Christmas because I am not Ebenezer Scrooge. We want to have some time off for the holidays, as you guys, I'm sure, will do, and enjoy this great weather in Florida. Get out, play some golf, enjoy the water, and have a great holiday season. That's what we do here. There'll be no snow skiing, not here. You can always join us at FanStream JP is my Twitter, and you can interact with the show that way, at Nick Geddes News or at the JP Peterson Show. All right. Did you watch Tiger and Charlie yesterday?
I don't think I missed a shot. I don't think I missed a shot.
You're not watching
today.
football?
I was not watching football. No, I was not. In fact, they took me. Listen to this. Follow me here. They started me on Peacock in the morning.
They did.
And they took me to the Golf Channel, which I don't even have the Golf Channel, so I had to call up somebody to get a login info for it.
Don't you hate this?
Yeah.
In the days you
it
could just
sucks.
go and watch stuff on your TV.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but they took me on a ride. And then after that, they announced, oh, now we're going to NBC. So I went on 3 different platforms. Jump.
Christmas.
But you know what, though? When Tiger Woods is playing on a Sunday in red,
Yeah.
I'll go wherever. I'll go wherever.
In the fight, too.
Yes.
Whoever thought that we would be like, if you're a golf fan, you're watching the Woodses against the Dailies. You ever think that was part of your going to be part of your viewing? And it was as good a golf watch as you'll ever have because of Charlie. I mean, I said this the other day, and I read an article like when, there's probably 100 kids that are, quote, better than Charlie, scoring better than Charlie right now in tournaments and whatever. I'm like, whatever. That swing, that calmness. I mean, the dude is, 12 years old?
Yeah.
He's 12. I didn't see him hit top one shot.
No.
I didn't see him shank one. I didn't see him miss hit one, hit one fat. He just that's not normal. That is not normal. That kid's swing is freaking perfect. I mean, I tried not to get into that part of it because I know it takes a lot more than that to be good on tour, but that's remarkable. That's remarkable with the cameras going and everything going on around him. Dude's oblivious to it. Oblivious.
And that's what I was going to say. If you're going to tell me there's 100, 200 guys better than him, are there
Show 'em to
100,
me.
200 that can do that?
Not on
that stage?
No way.
No way.
No way. They'll all fold.
No.
And that's where he's going to have the advantage. This stardom to him, it's just, you could just see the resolve in him. Like he makes putts. He doesn't go crazy.
No.
He doesn't go nuts. He's just like,
the best
he
thing.
acts like he's done it before.
Just
and he
picks up
has.
the marker, just throws it right at dad.
Yeah.
Get this out of my way.
Yeah.
Move on.
Like, we don't need you here.
Yeah,
I
literally.
got this. I mean, he's hitting balls, 200 yards.
250 yards just about.
Yeah, I'm like approach shots, 3 feet from the pin.
Yeah, he's throwing darts.
Yeah. His ball flight is so good. I mean, there's nothing bad about his swing. Everything he does is so spot on.
And I mean, I said it on Twitter that day. I'll challenge you. Who's a better watch on the PGA Tour right now than Charlie? And he's not even on the tour.
I know.
I was way more invested in watching Charlie Woods play golf than I was. But Justin Thomas was out there. I didn't care what he was doing.
No.
I mean, I was so much more invested.
Nelly Korda was out there.
It just didn't really register
Can I
with
do
me.
it for you?
It just didn't.
I love watching her swing. Did you see her geek out over Tiger?
I did. Yeah, that was great.
Her whole
that was
family?
great. That was great.
She was like a little fangirl. I mean, you're the number one player in the world, honey. Like, come on. But it was great to see her geek out about it. Like, oh my God, I got a picture with Tiger. Like, you're Nelly Korda, for God's sake. Like, it's not she's not been around the limelight.
Everybody's a fan. Everybody's a fan.
How can you not be?
But even speaking of Tiger's performance,
they made 11 birdies in a row.
11 in a row.
Do you know how hard that is?
Was it
with
a
the
tournament
two-man?
record, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You know how hard it is to do that with just two guys? I mean, you're not going to make every putt.
And with those circumstances that he's playing in.
11 birdies in a row. And they finished what? They lost by one shot.
Lost by one shot.
To the Dailies.
Yeah.
But John Daly's kid can play.
Yeah, I think he's a freshman in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Same place where John played.
Yeah.
I thought he was like the star of the entire tournament, to be honest. He was so consistent.
Yeah, he really was good. Really good player. And seems a lot more buttoned up than Papa.
Nothing.
Not hard to do.
John
Standard.
Daly ripping cigs as he's walking down 18. It's just great.
How have we not done that movie yet? Like, his life is way more.
Oh, it's so entertaining.
I need a docudrama on that.
More. I need to know
Sean
more.
Payton. I need a freaking John Daly.
Kevin James could play him.
Yeah.
It's more fitting, to be honest.
Yeah, he's got a lot of range there. Yeah, who would play John Daly? John Goodman?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
John Goodman with a beard.
Yeah. Who would play young John Daly, though?
Young John Daly?
There are no fat golfers out there anymore. Fat young golfers. There's none.
I don't know. Jonah Hill.
They're all
I don't know.
not a bad one. Oh, he's lost all the weight though now.
Yeah,
right?
he lost all the weight.
He put it back on though.
He
wants
did it for one-time appearance. Come on. Play John Daly.
He could play. He would nail that role. That's a good call.
Seth Rogen. I don't know.
Seth Rogen would. Yeah. He could definitely do it. He could definitely do John Daly. I like Jonah Hill though.
Jonah Hill, I like.
That's a good call. Anyway, do we have some Tiger sound here?
We'll see if it plays.
Yeah, if we can play it. But it's hard. I'm trying to keep my my expectations low for Charlie, just because I know how hard it is to compete on the PGA Tour. But I mean, just watching the kid play, it's just so Tiger-esque. But who knows? It'd be fun to follow.
This is my environment. This is what I've done my entire life. I'm just so thankful to be able to have this opportunity to do it again. Earlier this year was not a very good start to the year, and it didn't look very good. But the last few weeks, the push as hard as we have the last 7 months, with taking no days off and just working our butts off each and every day, and to have this opportunity to be able to play with my son and to have these memories, for us, both of us, for a lifetime, it's worth all the pain.
That's genuine gratitude right there, and isn't it interesting to hear Tiger talk about no days off with his kid? It's just it's almost a people, we vilify work ethic these days. Like, it's like, and look at what's going on in our country. Like you were talking about it yesterday. The restaurants are half empty and you got a half hour wait because they don't have any staff.
Hour waits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they got no staff. I mean, it's crazy. Nobody wants to work anymore. And it's like, now working is stupid. Like, why would you work when you can make twice as much from the government and just sitting on your ass? And by the way, that's not an accident, folks. There's an attack on work ethic in this country right now. It's not, people, it's like work is demeaning. And I love the fact that the Tiger celebrates it. No, we're not taking, I know it's not work, it's golf, but you're working at something. You're trying to be the best at something. You're like, excellence is so shit on these days. Where is, where are the people talking about working their ass off all the time and getting their rewards and doing everything? Everything now is about, skating on this, getting that, getting mine, getting that. It's just, I love to hear him talk about that and celebrate it.
And the greater point with Tiger Woods, like, he doesn't have anything to prove.
No,
he's got nothing to say to anybody. He proved it a long time ago. He didn't even if he didn't win the Masters in 2019, he had nothing left to prove. And after time after time after time, comeback after comeback, he just won't say no. And to me, the performance he put on that, where he clearly was hurting, I mean, he might not be Tiger Woods ever again, but he showed just a few glimpses of the old Tiger Woods. Just a few.
We have one more piece of sound from him. We'll play that, and then we'll get into a couple more what I think are interesting topics vis-a-vis Tiger.
I'm not going to play a full schedule ever again. I'm going to have to pick and choose what events. And even then, my body might not cooperate with that. And so I don't know how many events I'm going to be playing. And it's going to be up to training sessions, practice sessions, the recovery tactics, all those different things to be able to do it. As I said, I have a better perspective on it now, and just so thankful to be able to do this again, because it didn't look good there for a little bit.
So what is Tiger's future? People are hoping that he's going to play Augusta. That's not going to happen.
No.
Augusta is the hardest walking course on tour. It's the hardest. Up and down hills all day long, on your feet, no carts. That's a really, really tough ask for Tiger right now. So I don't think that's happening. St. Andrews in July. I think you got 6-7 months to get better. I think there's a better shot of that. It's very flat. You're not rocking up and down hills. I think that's a much more easy. The weather probably will be, won't be horribly hot. So I think just all in all, his endurance has a much better chance to play at St. Andrews. So I would think that might be a possibility. I was thinking about the Valspar Championship, which, by the way, the Valspar Championship is back, folks, coming up the third week of March. third weekend in March. They've got their whole Saturday night concert is back at this point. Hopefully the tour won't be backing off that. So we'll be talking a lot about the Basketball Championship as we get closer to that. Could he come play for that? There is a little bit of elevation at Innisbrook, not much. A couple of uphill walks. 18 is tough. Down the hill at 10. But pretty much a flat, shorter course, a really easy walking course for him. Good weather should be good. I think that one would be one that he might target to play. It's not far, obviously not just a quick helicopter ride from his home. It could be a possibility. I think it is very doable. Let me ask you this. Casey Martin famously was a disabled golfer, and he petitioned the PGA Tour for a cart and won. Now, Tiger is not necessarily disabled yet. He's still injured, but I'm sure that he could apply for disability and maybe in that sense get it. But I think universally, anybody, golf fan would say, can Tiger get a cart? Yeah, I'm okay with it.
He could probably get a cart. Do you think he'd want that vision for everybody?
Hell no.
No.
Hell no. I know. And so I don't even think he would ask for it.
No, that's my thing. I think if he's going to do this, I think he wants to be all in. I really do. And he talked a little bit about that, some of these sessions, how hard it was for him to not be able to walk with Charlie, and he's having to the cart's having to go barely moving so he could talk to Charlie as he's walking and everything and try to keep the team stuff together. Again, when we're working with a caddy like that in the situation in a major tournament, I think he wants to be all the way in. And I don't think he's going to put that image out there.
I kind of wish he would. I don't care if he rides in a cart.
I don't care, but
if he can be competitive, but I think you're right. I don't think he would. I don't think he would ever ask for one.
No.
And that's I think that's something to be celebrated, to be quite honest. Now, will he be able to get back to full schedule? As you said, no, that's not going to happen. But
he hasn't really played a full schedule in a long time, to be honest.
Well, he's always gone after, he always followed what Jack did, which was, 18 to 24 tournaments a year, never any more than that. Everything planned around the majors. But I am encouraged. I didn't think I would ever see him play Augusta again in a purely competitive way. But after what we saw this week, he can hit the ball 320.
I mean, he outdrove Justin Thomas.
Yeah.
Right there one time. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He showed a few times he had another one too. I think it was he was 220, 230 out, and he hit like a 4-iron or a 5-iron, whatever. And he totally just put it right there, pin high on the green. And I'm like, that's a vintage Tiger shot.
Yeah.
And he even gave a smile to the camera too.
Yeah.
He knows.
And that's the thing about golf is, it's what brings us back. You get one or two shots.
Yeah.
You can always, you're never good as you once was, but you're good once as you ever was.
But honestly, though, I mean, maybe the distance, and he even acknowledged that too. It's frustrating sometimes because I can't hit it as far as I used to. But I thought a lot of his placements on the shots was pretty good. I didn't see him really miss many greens.
He just has to dial it down.
He just got to get it back in. And I mean, the putting, something that he's been obviously been able to do for a while. I thought he putted pretty well for the most part. I mean, he still had that juice. Once they looked up at the leaderboard, they were in lead at one point.
Yeah.
And he kind of said, all right, let's go. And he started, I think, overcompensating. He had the next drive he had. It looked like he tried to go too hard, and he had a nice little hook there.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. That's the competitiveness in him. He's like, I'm in the leaderboard. We got to go. And they turned it on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they really turned it
11 birdies in a row.
Yeah.
That's no joke.
No, I had never even watched this tournament before. But, going forward, if they're in it, I'm watching.
Would you watch Charlie play in a junior tournament?
Yes.
Hell yeah, I would. More so. All right. So PGA Tour versus, I won't say a major, but if it's a Sunday afternoon and Charlie's playing in the AJCA Memphis Open or whatever the hell junior tournament, are you watching that over the PGA Tour? Yeah, I probably am.
I can't explain this quality that Tiger Woods has, and I guess his son. We hardly even know who Charlie Woods is, and I feel as invested in him as I am in Tiger. I don't know what it is. I guess some people just have that thing,
that charisma.
I can't explain it, but I was just watching it. I'm just amazed, and I don't want to get on that that hype train.
No.
That crazy where, oh, he's going to be the next Tiger. That's ridiculous. And we've seen plenty. It's hard to live up to your dad's status.
Nobody's doing that again.
Nobody's ever going to do that again. But if he even makes the tour, for crying out loud, I mean, what? Who makes the tour? 150 guys in this world?
Yeah. 154 guys get playing each week. There's obviously you can go to qualifiers and play, and that's probably how he will first try to get on tour.
Yeah, but I think he's must watch.
Yeah,
I do.
If he can win even one major, if he can even win one tournament, it's going to be interesting though, because he'll go through some spots where he's not going to play well, and how will he handle that? And he's never going to live up to his dad. So how do you handle that?
I just started thinking about this. If he ends up going to the college route,
Yeah.
Can you imagine the NIL in a few years, the sweepstakes
a few years. Like he's going to, there's got to be companies knocking down his door right now.
Seriously.
I mean, seriously.
He'd be the richest 12-year-old in the world.
My God. I mean, if you had a kid's shoe or something else, I mean, what 12-year-old golfer or 10-year-old golfer is not watching this weekend going, I want to be Charlie Woods. He would do everything that Charlie does, including work your ass off, kid.
Yeah. I mean, he stole the spotlight from his own dad, who was making his 9-month comeback after a near fatal accident.
He did.
I mean, that's an amazing story in itself. And Charlie was the story, I thought, coming out of it. I really did. Something about these Woods, man.
I wonder if his life is going to be as checkered as Tiger's. How do you as a 12-year-old comport think about this part of it. Think about the life part of it. He's 12 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine what do you do at school? How many Valentines is this kid going to get? How many chicks are going to be hitting on Charlie? I mean, I think I'm not thinking about it in a weird way. I'm just thinking the dude is going to he's going to have to deal with girlfriends. Right? He's going to have to deal with social media. He's going to have to deal with teachers. He's going to have to deal with, so many pressures in life. Think of the things that he's going to have to deal with, being the face of this company or that company or that company. Has there ever been? Look at what happens to child movie stars. They're all train wrecks down the road, right? Mm-hmm. And Tiger was a young virtuoso, Tiger had to deal with it. So who better to shepherd him through this than his dad, who had to deal with all of this stuff. But I'll be honest with you, I don't remember following Tiger Woods at 12 years old. We started hearing about Tiger when he was, winning U.S. AMs at 16 and 17. Oh yeah, that was the kid on the Mike Douglas show 20 years ago, whatever. But not at 12, not at 11, not at 10. And they've been, I think Tiger's done a good job of sheltering them from crazy media. But now cat's out of the bag.
Yeah,
cat's out of the bag.
But I do think the new perspective of Tiger now, to where he's not going to be playing as much golf on tour, and that might be his moment where he said, "Okay, my son is really, really good at this. Really, really good. I have so much time now that I could teach him not only about golf, because clearly he's done a great job in that aspect. He has the same mannerisms, the same swing, same everything." But I think there's a lot of time to be spent there teaching him about what he's going to have to face. And I know he's probably been through it. 12 years old by now, he probably knows how it goes, the routine, how hard it is to live a child's life. But I think Tiger is going to have a newfound, almost passion, sort of say, to really, really harp on that. So I think he's going to have a really good chance. I really do.
I think it's going to be the harder part for him. I think for Charlie is going to be handling life. There's never been. Can you think of a sports star that has been more in the limelight at such an early age, where everything, from this day forward, everything Charlie does is going to be in public? Is going to be
young of an age?
Yeah. Trying to think of a tennis player. Jennifer Capriati at 14, 15, being in the limelight at the majors.
Did Sharapova? She was 16, right, when she won the.
Yeah, she was about to.
She won Wimbledon.
Yeah, but they weren't international stars at 12.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of an international. There just hasn't been one, because at 12 you can't be great at that great at anything. And the reason he's a superstar is not because of his golf. You know what I'm saying? It's because of his name and the whole situation. So I don't think we've ever seen anything like this. And in the age of social media, I mean, there's probably going to be times when he does stupid kid stuff. And you know what? That's okay. But man, it'll be interesting to watch and see how this whole thing goes down. All right, we'll take our final break. When we get back, we'll hit a couple other stories this weekend. The Jake Paul fight. What an event that turned out to be. Holy heck, folks. I was there. I'll tell you about it when we come back.
Are you in the market for a refinance or looking for a new home? You got to call my man, Fitz the Mortgage Guy, Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. I have got literally a notebook here of testimonials on what a great job he's done for so many of our listeners. Scott saved me $1,200 up front. Scott paid for my appraisal. Scott got my PMI taken off. Scott helped me pay off my car. They didn't give him money, but he refinanced everything for these folks and showed them a great strategy to get rid of a lot of their debt. He's not just a mortgage broker. He's like a financial counselor, and he's passionate to get you the lowest rate and keep you from paying those upfront lender fees. You know those folks that say, we'll pay your closing costs? Well, then they come back and hit you with all these other fees. Folks, go to a local guy who's got a great reputation, been in the business for 20 years here, to 3,000 local mortgages. Scott Fitzgerald. Email him, scott@amstampa.com. That's scott@amstampa.com. Hey, JP here for the Black Rock Bar and Grill, and they got a new menu out, Johnny. This is unbelievable. Some incredible burger creations. Here's my new favorite, mac and cheese burger. Half pound of certified Angus beef, American cheese, bacon, finished with our macaroni and cheese. Are you kidding me? Or a nacho burger with fried jalapenos, grilled onions. They got a ghost pepper chipotle burger. That's hot. Or the Fat Elvis burger. I mean, there's so many good burgers on this thing. It's amazing. What do you like?
I've been taking a look at the seafood section of this summer menu. 8 jumbo shrimp. Unbelievable, man. It goes perfectly with their burgundy mushrooms.
Oh, I love the mushrooms.
It's delicious.
So good. Of course, you get the steak on a 755-degree stone. You cook it right there in the garlic butter, the casino butter. It's fillets. You can do your shrimp on it, your chicken. It's unlike any other place. It's the Black Rock Bar and Grill. You got to go. It's a new menu. Tell them JP sent you. Brandon and Carrollwood. Get to the Black Rock. Who wants free mobile service? I do. And you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian, graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
JP, Santa, and young Saint Nick. Get us right over here. My partner for the Golden Diamond Source. You hear that? Christmas music. It's Christmas time. You just popped a question to your lady from the Golden Diamond Source diamond that you got.
Yes, I did. The Golden Diamond Source, the best place to go get your diamond for an engagement. They helped me out so much. They were so courteous to me for somebody who was so nervous. And it's Christmas time, like you said. If you're thinking about popping the question, you need to go to the Golden Diamond Source.
It's the Jewelry Supercenter, fully stocked, fully staffed, and yes, just a short drive from downtown Tampa or wherever you're coming from, right there on Ulmerton Road. Avoid the madness at the malls. And whether you're a first-time buyer or looking for that 10-carat custom design, they have it all. 9 jewelers in-house ready to make your dreams come true. even layaways, 100% interest-free financing up to 5 years. Shop now for your best selection at the Gold and Diamond Stores and make your lady wonderfully happy, like Nick did. That's absolutely. Shop anytime online at thegoldanddiamond.com.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right. News is rolling in vis-a-vis injuries for the Buccaneers here. Rick Stroud reporting that Chris Godwin sprained MCL in his right knee, may not return until the playoffs. There are other reports that Fournette and Evans' hamstrings are not that bad, but they're going to miss some time. Bruce Arians will speak to the media today at 2:30 via Zoom. I will be on that call representing you folks. If you have any questions that you guys should ask that are actually germane and credible, hit me up at FanStream JP. I'm looking through some of the others. Levante David sustained a foot injury. He'll probably be getting an MRI today. So I think, there's no question that they're going to be without Evans. I don't think any of three of those guys play next week against Carolina. So time for some guys to really, really step up. And AB is back this week, but don't forget, he hasn't played in 10 weeks, and he hasn't been practicing because of the ankle.
Yeah, we don't even really know we haven't got an update in a while on what that ankle is going to look like.
So his conditioning is going to be zero. There's no way he can play a whole game. I mean, you can get 25 snaps out of him, you'll be doing well. So to think that AB is going to come back and be AB, that's an unrealistic expectation. He may not even be able to play this week. You don't know. He was at practice last week. He took a picture of himself at the indoor facility working out. So we don't know, but I would expect him to be much less than 100%.
Yeah, maybe get Perriman back too, I'd assume.
Yeah, Perriman will be back because he was on the COVID list, so he'll be back. So you got Perriman, AB, you got a healthy Gronk. The fact that OJ Howard is getting no run whatsoever. I mean, how he must have just completely checked out. Because the dude has all the talent in the world, and I don't think this is not because the Bucs don't want to play him. You're going to earn your time on this team, and now he ain't earned squat. So we can't count him in. Scotty Miller's got to step up. Scotty Miller's got to be a guy that can step up. We know he can do it.
The problem with Scotty Miller is
You hate him.
I don't hate Scotty Miller. Come on. He is not. He's not a focal point of any. He cannot be a focal point in any offense. He can't. He is supposed to be a complementary piece. If you're asking him to be a 1 or to be a 2 and get these and be like a main focus point of the defense's coverages, I don't think Scotty Miller can do that. That's not a shot at him. That's just who he is.
No, he can't. And that's the thing. None of these guys are going to be, AB can beat one-on-one coverage, but it's going to be a totally different offense. And frankly, the Bucs are going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to be balanced. And it's just going to be a very, very different show for them.
Last note before we move on to the fight here, because I know we got a few minutes left. I'm just happy it's Cam Newton week. I'm so happy for it.
It is Cam Newton week.
It's Cam Newton week, and I just love it. I love it.
I haven't even paid much attention to the Panthers lately on what they're doing.
That's okay.
Is he still playing?
Yeah,
I thought it was
he's
PJ
playing.
Walker.
No, he's playing. He's playing.
Not playing very well.
No, he's not back.
Yeah.
He's not back.
It's not the
I
MVP
just
cam.
want you to know that he's not back.
It's not the MVP cam.
No.
Good to know.
No.
Yeah. So the Jake Paul fight this weekend was a tremendous success in Amalie Arena. Man, it was packed, absolutely packed. Incredible energy in that building, and Frank Gore and Darren Williams went at it, and I was surprised Frank Gore actually fought, but so I know there were some issues with his MRI.
I don't think he should fight ever again.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
He got beat up pretty bad.
Yeah. I guess
Darren Williams, he's a big man.
I didn't know he was that big.
I didn't either.
He was a point guard in the NBA and kind of just a regular sized one.
Yeah, he's giant size now.
Going off what I'm thinking Frank Gore is just huge, and he is huge. He's ripped to a shred, but yeah, not a fighter. Not a fighter.
Yeah, yeah. He got bullied watching it. Oh, wow. They take a shot right there. I'm watching some of the highlights and
Look at his face. He's like, get me out of this ring.
Yeah. It's a different deal when you get into that part of it. The Paul fight against Tyrone Woodley, that was a shot. That was a legitimate. I mean, there were people questioning this, whether it was a fake punch or something, or it was set up.
Again, people need to get a log off Twitter and get out of that world.
Yeah,
please.
That was that was a shot. That's what the people came to see. And then after the fight, he gave our friend Peter Blake a Rolex for asking a question about Rolexes.
He said he's like, I'll give you the Rolex. What's your address? What's your email? I'll get it after this.
We're gonna get old Blake on the show tomorrow and then talk about that whole deal. That was pretty cool. But tell you what, I think there's a lot of promoters that watched that fight and said, "Holy hell!" This guy packed the arena.
Yeah,
we're talking about 18,000 tickets sold. It was a tough ticket to get.
And he brought in some pretty mainstream fighters and other people Jim Harbaugh's just roaming down there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got drawing power.
He really does.
And I know he's going to, people in the boxing community are going to scoff at it.
I wonder what the pay-per-view numbers were. Have you seen that?
I'm curious to know, but they're always in the millions. They're always in the millions when he fights.
Wow.
I mean, he's got drawing power, and his gates are getting higher and higher every single event.
Yeah. I mean, show out Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Nice. Shout out to our boxing guy, although I don't think it was necessarily a boxing crowd. I mean, the chicks were just unbelievable. I mean, everybody was dressed up to the nines.
I'm surprised if you even watched the fight.
It was a thing. It was a social event, and that's cool. You love to see that. But does this make Tampa Bay a boxing venue now? Certainly, I could listen. The promoters will go where they sell tickets. But I don't think freaking Antonio Tarver and Roy Jones sold as many tickets as Jake Paul, which is a shame.
No.
I could be wrong, but that place was packed for that fight as well. And when Jeff Lacey fought their hometown kid, it was packed as well. But shout out to Tampa Bay. They really showed up. That was a great show. It's a great event.
I know. I'd love to see more come here. Maybe a UFC event.
We definitely will. I mean, after
really
that
cool.
showing, no, that's people take notes of that stuff. Yeah, believe it or not, Stu Sternberg, people do show up for events if you promote them well, and it's worth going to at a great venue that's centrally located. It's amazing what people will do. All right, some other stories. It's a full-on free-for-all in college football as quarterbacks change places everywhere. I think we're going to see this every offseason. It's going to be free agency, even for guys that are incumbent starters. The biggest thing right now for head coaches is you've got to pick and choose who your guy's going to be. And if you're, I think it's going to be interesting. I haven't found this out yet, but I know for a fact that Max Johnson was interested in going to Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
So did FSU make the call that we're not going to pursue him? We're going to stick with AJ Duffy? Because if Max decides to go to FSU and bring Jake with him, his tight end brother, then AJ Duffy doesn't sign at FSU. You lose that kid. Yeah, he's the one at IMG and playing. Now, is that a conscious choice that FSU made to say we're going to stick with our up and coming guys, or did they try to get both of them? I wonder how that went down.
Here's the thing. I think that it's been a long time since
and
FSU.
I will find out, by the way.
It's been a long time since FSU has had a quarterback they got the right way or the normal way recruiting.
Yeah,
I think DeAndre Francois or James Blackman, they were the last, right?
Yeah.
They were the last. You have a lot of
But
transfers.
I don't remember either one of those being that highly rated.
No. This guy is like, go back to Malik Henry. Remember him?
Yep,
And he didn't work out. But
No.
this is our highest quarterback since him. But they've been working a lot the last few years with transfers, like Hornerbrook, Milton, Jordan Travis was a transfer.
Which is not a bad way to go.
It's not a bad way to
we've
go.
seen it worked out with Joe Burrow.
No, it's not a
Worked out
bad
with
way
Justin
to go.
Fields.
But I think Mike Norvell needs to have his own guy, that he went out and got. He's been tied to the hip of AJ Duffy. That's his guy. Corey Long has said it. Newberg said it. However, this is going to go for Mike Norvell is going to be dependent on what AJ Duffy does.
Yeah. And so, but if you're playing Monday afternoon quarterback, was that a choice that FSU made? Because frankly, I would have gone with Max and Jake because you're getting a 2-for-1 and with 3 years of eligibility. And a guy who's already played
again
and is already established.
It would have been nice. I just think you're fighting an uphill battle trying to get those guys here.
Yeah, and then
it just is.
But it's also weird is that you get that so delicately because if word gets out that that's who you're going after, then AJ leaves, then you're left with nothing. And then how does that break up the class when you're telling a guy, hey, come here, and then all of a sudden you pull it's tough.
Don't want to coach now.
It's a tough environment, man. It ain't like the old days. That's for damn sure. All right. Thanks again so much for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with a live show, 10 to 12, with updates on the injuries as well. Bruce Arians will speak at 2:30 today. I'll be on that call. And hopefully the Lightning will get back to it this week at some point, and the NHL will come to their senses and follow the NFL rules. We'll keep you posted all the way. We will talk to you tomorrow. See you then.